network as well. Natalie Foster, the 6'4" senior from Michigan, will serve to get us started in this 3 out of 5 set match. And a service error. Foster a little too pumped up on that initial serve.
Sometimes that happens. You get the blood flowing, juices are going, adrenaline kind of kicks in at the beginning. So watch for both sides to settle in fast, especially in this environment that's going to be insane tonight.
Bergen Riley, the Big Ten Setter of the Year last year, first freshman in league history to win that award, serves. Cullen, a joust with Alec at the net, and then Cullen puts it down.
Already so much juice on SMU's side of the net. That's exactly the start that you want, taking control of the net play. That's normally something Nebraska's known for up front, having that physicality. It's important for SMU to match that.
Conference Setter of the Year last year in the American Conference. Riley sets Alec. It's blocked by Okamura. There's Lexi Rodriguez. Lexi Rodriguez in that white jersey, the libero for Nebraska, one of the best all-time. Beeson hits hands. That is saved by the libero Bolton. Beeson again. And thunder crushed by Chimay.
One huge key for SMU tonight is going to be, can they outlast Nebraska defensively? That's exactly the start that this team wants, digging in transition and then taking some big swings to get out of it.
Well, Sam Erger said the first set is absolutely critical. Riley setting the right side, and that little off-speed works for Taylor Landfair.
We haven't seen her play too much throughout the first 3 matches of the season. She goes in when they're up a lot for the last few matches that we've seen. Normally Krause getting the start there. Probably just want to get her some playing time because that becomes so important throughout the season.
Landfair, a former Big Ten Player of the Year when she was at Minnesota a couple of years ago, sends that serve long. And SMU hanging with the Huskers here in this opening set. They pushed Hawaii to 5 sets out in Hawaii and then beat San Diego. Here's Maya Tabron. Tabron is a transfer from Colorado, 6 rotation player. Riley. And that is hammered by Beeson. Good hustle, but the Huskers get the point.
Yeah, really good hustle on SMU's side, but it's just the strength for Merritt Beeson on the right side to send this ball. But check that out. Arms pumping, laying out for it. That's exactly what you want to see.
Lexi Rodriguez back to serve now for Nebraska. Again, a 3-time first-team All-American. Okamura. Riley pushes it out on the pin to Murray. Bolton keeps it alive. And somebody in the net. Point will go to SMU.
Nebraska just getting a little bit too aggressive up front, really trying to push on one of SMU's best attackers on the outside in James Wheeler.
Ellie Bolton back to serve. I know you're a big fan of her, Emily. She transferred from Creighton.
Oh, she's so much fun to watch. I mean, she's one of the juice makers for that team.
Good serve. Riley settles under it, puts the set, quick set, and it is hammered in the middle by number 15 in red, Andy Jackson.
Jackson was explosive in her freshman year last season, but this sophomore season, we are seeing new heights from her. She's added about 3 inches to her vertical, and she's exploding to every ball. And
speaking of Jackson, playing on that USU 21 team over the summer really helped her development as well. Block! Point Nebraska.
Harper Murray get a little bit of action defensively up front. This ball was set up so well. She exploded out to it. You see dropping those hands back into the seam. That's what veteran players do, and she's just a sophomore.
Solo stuff from Murray. She's averaging a block a set here early in the season. Merritt Beeson back to serve. First team All-American last year. Service error, point to SMU. 5 apiece here. Beeson, again, transferred from Florida. Immediate impact last year for Nebraska and helping them get back to the national championship. Is a leader, almost like a mother, they say, on this team to her teammates.
Oh, she's absolute mama bear. And crazy enough, when she came early in January, she was named a captain nearly right away, if that tells you what you need to know about her leadership skills.
Brooke Frazier from the Woodlands, Texas, just outside of Houston. Cross court, Andy Jackson.
Jackson's going to be a problem for SMU if Nebraska continue to stay in system. SMU has to find a way to knock Nebraska off the net and try to neutralize the middles just a little bit better, because if Jackson and Alec get going, it could be a short night.
Harper Murray back to serve. That's Jackson's second kill. She's the only player in the match with 2. A lot of service errors here in this opening set, Emily.
You know, a lot of that does come from environment, too. You're getting used to playing in a new gym. Some serves can go long just based on depth perception. But also, what we're seeing in Moody Coliseum right now, it is jam-packed with fans.
3 service errors for Nebraska, 1 for SMU. Here's Natalie Purdue. She transferred from Arkansas. A lot of transfers on the floor for SMU. And again, Jackson has been the player that SMU hasn't been able to stop.
And the only way to take Jackson out of that offense is to knock Nebraska out of system, so Bergen-Riley can't get the middles going. That means that SMU has to serve just a little bit tougher, and then in transition, try to hit a little bit harder or just get the ball in Bergen-Riley.
Jackson, 3 kills on 4 swings. This is Kennedy Orr. He's had 3 aces this season, comes in as a serving sub for Nebraska. Serves it at Bolton and is pushed out on the pin, and Foster crushes it.
Talking to head coach Sam Erger earlier in the week, she was saying that Natalie Foster has one of the best middle arms that she's ever coached, and we're seeing that established early on in set 1. That's something that setter Celia Cullen has to continue to find as this match goes on.
Foster was a fantastic basketball player when she was younger. Both her parents played college basketball. We're tied at 7. We've been tied at every point this set, and now SMU breaks the tie and leads 8-7. Okamore again, tough in the middle.
As soon as you turn off that service pressure, it is so tough to stop when SMU can get going from that back line, especially with the arm that Foster has.
Foster has gotten on some service runs already here this season. Nice receive by Rodriguez. And it's good. That is Landfair again.
Really impressive swing from Taylor Landfair. This ball not set perfectly out to the pin, but she adjusts her body mid-swing, turns that thumb down, and gets it done.
Nebraska is absolutely loaded this year. They have no seniors, or they had no seniors on the team last year when they went to the national championship. So just about everybody back this year. And if they can win out this week, we may see them ranked number 1 next Monday with Texas losing. There's Merritt Beeson getting another kill.
I think whether or not Nebraska's ranked number 1 in the country, which they should be, assuming they take care of business this week, that means that they're going to have that number 1 spot. But I think right now Nebraska feels like one of the teams to beat, considering the entire team came back from last season in terms of starters.
Tabron kept alive by Landfair, and that is down point SMU.
Nadie Okamore just controlling the pace at the net. In these 50-50 balls, you want to make sure that you're almost the second person up so you can push down just a little bit more aggressively.
Okamore got her degree from Florida, is here at SMU in grad school. Again, we continue to be tied at every point so far. 9-all now. First set goes to 25, win by 2. Rodriguez with the set to Beeson, and Beeson terminates.
Nebraska's doing a really great job in transition, getting these balls that might be easier right up in the setter's hands or out of system. Those players are putting up really good high balls for their hitters to take care of.
3 kills from Beeson. Nebraska with only 2 hitting errors. SMU with just 1. What a clean start in this Big Ten ACC match. And tooling the block is Chimay.
Really good finish from Nia Chimay up front, identifying the block in front of her. If it's not perfectly formed, she does a really great job of using those hands and fingertips to her advantage.
This SMU team is a program to watch. They are getting votes for the top 25 this week. Again, joining the ACC, they were picked 6th in the preseason poll, but those 5 ahead of them are all ranked as we speak. Okamore tries to go to the middle. Riley setting Alec in the middle, and Okamore with another stuff.
Good identification from SMU's front line, middle staying in front, and you get a little bit of help from that outside attacker and Wheeler coming in. It's tough to get past a double block, especially with the height that Okamore brings.
Okamore already with 3 blocks in this opening set. Tabron back to serve. Riley setting the outside, and this time Beeson gets the kill. She now leads the match with 4.
And SMU's having a difficult time blocking that right side of the court, whether it's me up on that opposite attack or Andy Jackson on the slide. Those left front blockers for SMU need to do a better job of setting it up.
Rodriguez back to serve again. Tied at 11. Rodriguez setting. Murray. Point Nebraska, SMU in the net.
And SMU is there on so many of these blocks in the right position, hands pressed over. They're just getting used a little bit too much and being a little bit undisciplined in some of those movements as well.
How important do you think this first set is for SMU?
I think it's absolutely critical, especially if you can rattle a team like Nebraska with the crowd that you have. I think it's critical if you want to get a win.
A nice wide open attack right in front of Chimay, and she makes the most of it.
And really impressive ball. It's difficult to score against this Nebraska defense on tips because Nebraska's libero Lexi Rodriguez is so good. That was an incredible ball. Didn't have too much height to it. Pretty much went straight down.
Bolton back to serve. We're tied at 12. Again, going to 25, win by 2 in this first set. 3 out of 5 set match. Murray hits hands. Point Nebraska.
That's really good service pressure on SMU's side, but an even better pass for Nebraska. And Bergen Riley nearly looks like an overpass. She gets those hands there in time to deliver a perfect ball outside.
Nebraska hitting 286 so far this season. In this set, they're hitting 400. SMU hitting 333. They averaged 250, so both teams playing above their average here in this first set. This has been a fun first set. Murray over the block. Saved by Wheeler. Chimay is stuffed again. Harper Murray.
Right when we talk about how the offense has turned on, it's defense coming in, and Harper Murray getting a little bit of a taste of it. She's doing a great job on that left side, setting up that block perfectly and pressing those hands over.
Well, John Cook says we're the most motivated team in the country right now after the way last season ended. First time either team has led by 2. That's how close it's been. And that is Nebraska's point. No touch. So Nebraska and SMU off to a fun start here in Dallas.
Did you know that if...
Well, what a week 2 ACC Network football lineup we have for you. It starts Saturday afternoon at noon Eastern with Syracuse hosting Georgia Tech. Then the Tar Heels of North Carolina will take on Charlotte, and we'll cap the night with number 14 Clemson squaring off against Appalachian State in Death Valley at 8 Eastern. All 3 games are also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Right now, Nebraska in the midst of a 5-1 run, and Emily Harper Murray's been involved in 3 of those points in the 5-1 run.
And Harper Murray, not just a good offensive outside, she has an incredible 6 rotation outside, very well rounded. She gets involved in blocks, and defensively, she's so good in the backcourt.
Merritt Beeson already second on Nebraska's all-time kills per set list. Clips the net with her serve. Cullen setting the outside. Rodriguez keeps it alive. Back row from Beeson. Nice save. But Nebraska gets the point. Beeson's back row attack is good enough.
It seems like it doesn't even matter where Merritt Beeson is on the court. They are finding her often on Nebraska's side, and SMU cannot take it.
That's her 5th kill, 9 swings, no errors. Nebraska's won the last 4 points, 6 of the last 7 to build this lead. And that is ended in a hurry by Natalie Foster.
Celia Cullen using that signature side set to her advantage. This ball's so impressive. Check this out. She takes it over her shoulder and still gets that tempo going to the middle. It takes a really elite, athletic, and dynamic setter to do that. This is something Cullen does constantly throughout matches.
It is so fun to watch. I mean, it just looks cool.
Oh, it looks so cool.
Yeah. Riley off the slide. Remember, Jackson was so impactful earlier in the set, and she's come back in and getting another kill.
And where Jackson's been most impactful is really that slide attack, meaning she's going behind the setter on this ball. The connection between Bergen Riley and Andy Jackson has been something they've developed over the years. Yeah, it might just be their 2nd season together at Nebraska, but they've played with each other throughout the USA youth programs for the last few years as well.
Riley has assisted on 10 of the 13 kills by Nebraska here in this first set. Stuffed. Landfair and Jackson were both there.
Celia Cullen is really pushing that right side of the court for SMU, trying to test out Nebraska's outside blockers. What they've learned so far is it is not working. They are forming a complete wall up front. It's getting shut down.
So it's Landfair getting that block clean. Back row rolled over. Nice save by Choboy. And the point will go to SMU.
And that play actually called down. It looked like Harper Murray was trying to run through on the pancake, but watch this ball. Looks like it might clip the floor, at least the ref thought so. So that ball would be down. Got another look at it.
Huh.
Tough to tell.
Wow, yeah. Well, they're not challenging it, but Purdue serving. Purdue's 2nd team all-conference last year when SMU was in the American Conference. And a big rip taken by Tabron, and it pays off.
Tabron is one of those outsides that if that block isn't perfectly formed in front of her, she has the ability to just power through it and get those tools because of how much power she brings with that shoulder.
Purdue back to serve again. Purdue, a 6-foot grad student. Kept alive by Bolton. Nice save by Cullen. Choboy to Riley. And off the slide again is Andy Jackson.
That slide so lethal for Andy Jackson. SMU has to find a way to slow down that right side attack, whether it's the slide or from the opposite. Jackson's chasing it down and just hammering that line time and time again. SMU has to get those hands out.
So say you called it earlier, Emily. That right side attack for Nebraska has been unstoppable so far. Ace couldn't have walked it over there any better.
Andy Jackson can just do it all for a team. We've seen her get involved on the block. She's put up 3, 5 for 6, and over 800. And now, of course, she's racking up the aces.
That's her first ace of the season. 5 kills on 6 swings as well. 3 blocks. And a timeout as Nebraska has crossed the 20-point threshold first. Remember, we're going to 25, win by 2. So this SMU team joining the ACC this season, and they want to be a factor. And Sam Erger wanted to bring Nebraska in front of their fans to show them what could be possible one day at SMU. She really wants this to be an elite program, doesn't she?
She absolutely does, and she says even looking at other ACC programs like a Pitt or a Louisville, if they can do it, why not SMU? They are in a great volleyball city in Dallas. They have great academics. The resources at SMU are absolutely insane, and then the talent that she has here. And I think you're seeing it demonstrated right now. This crowd is absolutely elite. Of course, they're so excited to watch the #2 team in the country, but you can tell with the amount of SMU fans, they're excited for the future of this program and joining a conference that's already so strong. It's going to be a really good season for the Mustangs.
Right now, the ACC has 3 of the top 5 teams in the country, 5 of the top 20. And again, SMU is receiving votes just has not cracked into the top 25 yet, but the ACC has become, if not the best, certainly one of the best volleyball conferences in the country right now.
It's certainly become one of the most competitive, and the talent that you see across the board and really at all schools. It's not just one or two schools, has been insane.
Yeah, 7 ACC teams made the tournament last year. Remember, we were tied at 12, and Nebraska has come on strong, and that's a good way to slow the Huskers down as Tabron gets another kill.
A really good answer right out of the timeout for SMU, putting up a pretty decent pass, and then Tabron, one of the veterans on this team, finishes it off.
Foster back to serve. Remember, she had a nice service run earlier. They're happy when she's back there. Cullen, there's that side set, and Tabron goes for the finish and is unsuccessful. That went out.
You can tell from that angle, Tabron really trying to go for that high hand shot, just ripping it inside the seam, barely missing fingertips.
Bergen Riley, one of the best setters in the country. Anytime you're the Big Ten setter in the year as a freshman, you're special. First freshman to ever win that award. Well, you could feel the attack, but it went wide by Taylor Landfair. She crushed it. And point to SMU as they try to close the gap here late in the first set.
All of a sudden, SMU feels like that door is getting cracked open just a little bit more. They're going to need service pressure from here on out to try to knock Nebraska out of system.
Cullen, the setter, serving. Riley setting the outside left pin, not as successful. That's another block. Chimay getting that one.
Nia Chimay coming up clutch right there. Did a really great job tracking this set, getting in front of it. ID's at the middle is a little bit late, so she dove her hands back into the seam. That's an incredibly athletic play.
And it causes Nebraska to take a timeout. Chimay transferred from Wyoming. She's actually from Casper, Wyoming. Had an amazing match against Hawaii. 11 kills, 9 digs, 6 blocks, and 2 aces last weekend. And both of these teams have a lot of experience, don't they, Emily, in terms of players that have started?
I mean, it's pretty incredible the amount, especially on SMU's side, the matches played by the players that started today. 688 collegiate matches. On Nebraska's side, 459. Remember, this is a decently young group, a core group of sophomores that take the court. But man, on SMU's side, of course, you know, some of them are in their first season with SMU, but in general, Sam Erger said she wanted to recruit players and bring transfers in that had that experience and wanted to be a part of a program that was continuing to try to build and understood the culture that she was trying to make at SMU.
She said this is probably the most talented team that SMU volleyball has ever had. So
yeah,
we'll see
talented and most competitive. She said the grittiest, the most mature. I mean, this is a really special group for SMU, and what a better time to do it than joining one of the toughest conferences in NCAA volleyball.
All those adjectives you just used to describe the team could be used to describe who's serving right now. Cullen, she's all of those. SMU within 3. Nebraska trying to put this first set away. Okamore got it on the way down. It's good enough to keep the rally going. Cullen setting the outside. Tabron! And SMU is within 2.
And how about that high IQ play from the 5th year, Maya Tabron, identifying right back way too far up. She just shoots it right over, making it look easy.
SMU's won the last 3 points to get within 2. Cullen continues to serve. Serves Rodriguez. There's that right side attack that had been so tough, but a rare error for Nebraska, and SMU is within 1.
And that all started from the service line. A fantastic serve, knocking Nebraska out of system, and then the hitter forced to hit a ball that she didn't necessarily feel good about, went out of bounds.
Riley to Beeson. Oh! Are you kidding me? even know how you describe this, Emily.
Kill. Come on. This is the defensive intensity that you want to see from your team. It doesn't always have to be pretty. Sometimes you got to win ugly. Mark that up for a kill for Ellie Bolton. Absolutely incredible.
That was awesome. The libero getting the kill. And we are tied at 21. SMU's won 5 straight points, Emily. What is happening right now for SMU to be able to win 5 in a row?
Well, momentum's an incredible thing, and if you're SMU, what they've done really well is from the service line, they're putting in a ton of pressure. It's very difficult to get Nebraska out of system, especially when they're targeting or going around the seams for a player like Lexi Rodriguez, one of, if not the best passer in the entire country. But SMU is hitting that seam so well, knocking them out of system and making that offense just a little bit more predictable.
You can see why SMU's only lost 1 match here last year, and they've only lost 5 since Sam Erger became the coach.
I mean, she's just done an incredible job just with her 3rd season with SMU, just really trying to build up this program. And she actually said, I'm a builder. You know, they did it with her years at Baylor before, and she really likes that concept of creating a culture and then finding players, whether they're incoming freshmen or transfers, that really fit the vision and the culture that she sees.
So remember, Nebraska led 21-16. SMU has reeled off 5 straight points. We've had 13 ties in this set. It's targeted at Landfair, saved by Riley. Rodriguez setting Beeson. Beeson hits into the block but can't get through it. And SMU, 6 straight points to take a 1-point lead.
Everything going right for SMU right now, knocking Nebraska out of system. That makes these blocks so much easier to get when you know exactly where it's going. And then Nadie Okamore using that athleticism to her advantage, getting those hands all the way over.
This is the first time SMU has led in this set since they had a 1-point lead at 11-10. And remember, we're going to 25 win by 2 in this opening set. All of this has happened with Cullen behind the service line. Little overpass. Okafor couldn't do anything with it. And it is terminated by Lindsay Krause. We haven't called Lindsay Krause's name tonight.
Yeah, Krause checking into the game. She's been a difference maker for this Nebraska team. She normally gets the start, but they feel confident that she can come in off the bench and really be a game changer. She looks warm coming off the bench right now. I mean, that shoulder moving.
Yeah, she's averaging almost 3 kills per set so far, and tied with Bergen Riley for the most aces on the team. Back to serve now is Olivia Malk, freshman. And that just goes out. SMU back in front by a point.
Now this serve on SMU's side, it has to be good, but at the end of the day, it has to be in. Try to just target that seam and put a little bit of pace behind it, but keep that ball in play.
Mira Beeson, the leader of this Nebraska team, getting her team together here. Tabron serving. Beeson can't put it away. And a big Nebraska block. Alec in the middle.
Really great answer on Nebraska's side. Beeson putting a little bit of pace back at SMU, forces them out of system, and that block Alec was able to finish off because she knew exactly where that was going. Look at that press.
I'll tell you, Emily, this couldn't be a better first set. This is incredible.
That's exactly what we hoped for.
Cullen setting Okamore. Set point SMU.
Nadie Okamore coming up clutch for this team when that team needed it most. Now Bolton on the back line, got to put in a tough one.
Riley setting. Jackson can't put it away. Cullen in the middle. Foster terminates, and SMU grabs the opening set against second-ranked Nebraska.
Certainly getting a show tonight.
SMU closed that set, winning 7 of the last 9 points. It's reset time now for Nebraska. Anything you would think Nebraska needs to do a little bit better here in the second, Emily?
I think they need to continue to push that right side of the court. It was really effective throughout the first half of the set, and then passing, just clean it up a little bit.
Well, we said the first set would be very important for SMU. They've passed that test. Let's see how they do the rest of the way. Alec with a nice block in the middle, kept alive though by Chimay. Rodriguez sends it forward. It's the left side attacked by Krause. Krause starting this second set. Landfair started the first set for Nebraska, and SMU grabs the opening point.
And off of that first Nebraska error, this is a team that normally plays very clean. Nebraska already up to 8 hitting errors on the night so far through just about a set.
Foster, who had a fantastic opening set serving, is back there again. Transfer from Wichita State, and there's an ace.
SMU is just picking apart the back line from Nebraska. That is so difficult to do. I can't stress enough how good of a passing team Nebraska typically is. SMU is unloading back there.
First service ace of the night for SMU. And it's a 2-0 start. They've carried over some of that momentum here in the second. Service error. Announcer's jinx.
Sometimes when you see those serving kind of kicked up a notch and going harder and harder, you'll also see those errors kind of rack up too.
Lindsay Krause back to serve. Good to see her back after missing most of last season with that ankle injury. She was having such a good start to the year as well, but she's been impactful right away this year. SMU going to get that point.
Net call on Nebraska. Again, just getting a little bit too aggressive on some of these plays, not knowing exactly where your body is.
Well, Cullen was a big reason they came back in that last set. The setter, 12 assists, a kill, and a dig already tonight. Right side, Beeson crushes it.
Nebraska continuing to work that right side of the court, doing a really great job. Bergen Riley is getting her players a very good hittable ball right inside the block, but also pushing that tempo. That creates a seam in the block for her to hit through.
She was flying. I mean, that was walking through the air. Huge vertical. Chimay, and Chimay terminates from the left side for SMU.
Every time Chimay goes up, she's going to swing high and she's going to swing hard. She is not a player that you see a lot of off speeds from, and I think you're seeing exactly why, because of the heat that she's bringing.
Chimay set a Wyoming State high school long jump record, so she has got a tremendous jumping ability. Fantastic athlete. And again, they go to Beeson. Same side, same result.
Yeah, Beeson's been really effective down that line as well. If she has a little bit of a lane to hit, she's going to go right through it. Even though it's going out the best defender for SMU and Ellie Bolton, she still manages to find a way to get a kill.
Beeson's up to 7 kills right now. A unanimous selection to the preseason Big Ten team this year. And Chimay again, right side for SMU.
Nebraska doesn't have an answer for Chimay right now. She is barreling through the block. Block has to find a way to get set just a little bit quicker and push those hands over, because Chimay's using it time and time again.
Chimay 7 kills. Tying Beeson. They're the match leaders in that department. And that serve gets away from Bolton. Bolton getting her master's degree in management. So many of these SMU students are pursuing very advanced master's degrees. Harper Murray serves. Doesn't make it over the net. Point SMU.
Yeah, both sides getting a little bit sloppy from the service line. The errors that you're okay with are the ones that go maybe a little bit long or a little bit wide. It's those errors that you can't have right in the bottom of the tape.
5 service errors tonight for Nebraska. Brooke Frazier into serve, transfer from Texas A&M. She's also doing an internship with the Dallas Stars. Oh, that just went out. Might have a challenge. Yep. Sam Erger pulling the challenge card to confirm whether that serve was in or out.
I mean, seeing that ball live, it looked like it dropped in right at the last second. Get another look at it. That ball's in.
That looks in. It does. And you could see from Frazier, as a player, do you know, Emily, whether you feel good, like you know it's in or out?
Yeah, I mean, you've served hundreds, thousands of balls. You pretty much know every time it's in or out.
And that call is overturned. SMU gets the point, and the ace credited to Frazier. Good challenge by Sam Erger. It's been a frustrating night so far for John Cook and the Huskers.
And one of the staples that he's used to seeing is that good passing, and that is not the case tonight for the Huskers.
Is there any reason for it that you can put your finger on?
The SMU's serving a heck of a game. I mean, they're going right between the seams and really driving them back.
Riley sends it out on the left pin. It is crushed by Lindsay Krause.
That's a perfect example of when Nebraska gets a good in-system pass, they can force that tempo outside. That creates seams in the block and makes it really easy for the pins to score. That's why service pressure is so important to knock it off the net.
Krause, also an outstanding student. She completed her bachelor's degree in English in just 36 months. She is listed as a senior. Again, this Nebraska team still is very young as the dynasty continues in Lincoln. Kennedy Orr back to serve. Her sister Bree played at Iowa. You could hear that attack all around the gym, but it just went out. Chimay, that's her 4th error, 7 kills.
That's a really good run from Celia Cole, and I'd like to see them get Chimay involved more in the back row like they just did.
SMU still up by 1 here in the second set. They won the first set coming from behind. They were down 21-16. And that is terminated by no touch. Might see another challenge. The call was out, no touch, and Sam Erger and most of her team thought there was a touch.
Seeing that ball live, it looked like it might have clipped the block on its way out. Definitely aiming for it, really swinging high on it.
So again, you get 2 challenges, 2 incorrect challenges per match. Unless we get to a 5th set, then you get an additional one. Erger still has both the first because she won the last one. Looking to see if this touches any fingers.
Yeah, based on that look, it doesn't look like it's clipping fingers. Looks definitely to be inside Krause. Potentially Alec on the way out, but based on that look, it looks like it's going right over.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, look at. So again, second challenge by Erger, but she won the first one, so she did not lose one. So each team begins with 2. If the call is reversed, you keep your challenge. If the call is upheld, you lose it. And if we get to a 5th set, each team gets another one. And this call is not overturned. So SMU with only 1 challenge remaining.
Sam Erger not happy about that, but based on the looks that we saw, it clearly went out.
She's not buying it.
She's like, I know in my heart.
John Cook sitting there. He's flanked by incredible assistants, including Jordan Larson, the Olympian.
four-time Olympian.
Kelly Hunter also over there. Orr serving again. We're tied at 7. Second set. Ooh. Right down the line. That was perfectly placed by Wheeler.
Okay, Jams getting up and jamming that one down. An open net, that's exactly what you're going to see. I mean, check out the heat and the power that she's bringing through her arm. A completely open net, you do not want to be on the other side of that.
And she goes by Jams. Her real name is Jamison, but her mom started calling her Jams when she played club volleyball because it was easier to say from the stands. She could hear that better than Jamison. So she's kept it. I think that's pretty awesome. Jams.
Yeah.
Just
got a sick nickname to have.
Just got to see that vertical. She's improved her vertical from 9-11 to 10-5. Saved by Chimay. Cullen with the set over to Tabron. And another point for SMU. Foster.
SMU just inching their way ahead of Nebraska right now with that 2-point edge. They're doing a really great job staying balanced, keeping those middles involved in the play. They're trying to make it a short night against Nebraska.
SMU hanging right with Nebraska. They lead by 2. The Huskers take a timeout.
There's a place where dreams meet determination.
Well, obviously, one of the most popular athletic teams in the nation, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They travel well. A lot of Husker fans here in Dallas. You can hear that in the introductions. Again, this is a record crowd here in Moody Coliseum, just south of 7,000 fans packed in here to see the Huskers and Mustangs. And right now, SMU is not disappointing. Side out Nebraska. Krause gets the kill.
And Krause really exploding on that one again. She just started playing at the end of the first set, but she has looked elite since she stepped in.
Pretty incredible when you have the option of Krause and Taylor Landfair.
Yes. I mean, the pins that Nebraska has between them, Harper Murray and Skylar Pierce, who's coming in as a freshman, it's an embarrassment of riches for them.
That serve just out. Nebraska still has not led in this second set, and John Cook was very animated during that last timeout.
What's the staples that Nebraska's usually hanging their hat on in terms of passing and defending? They haven't been digging too many balls either. Normally a staple for this team. Only 1 dig in set 2.
6 service errors from Nebraska, followed by an ace from Foster.
It certainly helps when you're acing the best libero in college volleyball. SMU is serving phenomenally. They are going right in between the seams of the passers, again, driving them back, really testing out that end line.
Foster 2 aces in this match. She had 3 against San Diego last weekend. Rolled over the block, kept alive by Cullen. Tabron hit right at Rodriguez and gets the kill.
Nebraska's funneling these outside attacks to Rodriguez. You watch this block. It's set up so far down the line, taking it away. The only shot to hit is to left back at one of the best liberos in college volleyball, but they're finding ways to score still on SMU's side.
And Emily, typically you're going to try to stay away from the best defensive player on the team, but there is that thought that sometimes you go right at them, and that seems to be what SMU's doing. There is another ace right at Rodriguez.
I mean, they're going right at her in terms of attack. They're going right at her from the service line. They don't care who's back there. They're going to continue to bring the heat. And check out this serve. Just beautiful the way it's going from zone 1 back to zone 1, right to the back corner. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Zone 1 in that back right corner in volleyball. And Foster's run comes to an end. But wow, that was amazing.
Yeah, rumor has it that ball's still going.
We're not at altitude. SMU, a 4-point lead in the second set. They won the first set against Nebraska, the second-ranked team in the country. And another kill. Okamore.
Nebraska's block is looking a little bit sloppy to start off this second, and SMU does not care. They are using it over and over again. Okamore finding that small seam and going right through it.
Those T-shirts are really telling the story. Moody Magic.
Yeah.
That's what's happening right here for SMU. Cullen to serve. SMU, you can tell they are trying to be aggressive serving. Cullen just couldn't bring that back down.
Yeah, 4 aces, 5 errors. Those are numbers that you're okay with, especially, again, against a really good passing team in Nebraska, because you have to bring the heat.
Rodriguez back to serve. Point Nebraska, the block gets them the point.
Yeah, much better setup block on Nebraska's side. Beeson did a really good job of tracking where the set was, putting her head right on the ball, and then wrapping her hands around. Look at this setup. She goes right inside, gets her middle involved on that block.
Again, Nebraska has not led here in the second set. Cullen setting the right side. No block. That was just out. Point Nebraska.
That's a good example of, although they didn't get the block, it was very disciplined and forced Tabron to try to hit that ball down the line and too far out of bounds.
SMU going to take a timeout as Nebraska now within 2. So while we have a break in the action, women's sports takes over the afternoon every Sunday right here on ACC Network. This week, we start at noon Eastern with field hockey. Number 14, Ohio State squares off against number 10, Syracuse. And then number 9, Notre Dame hosts Marquette on the soccer pitch. Women's sports on Sundays here on ACC Network. And the newest addition to the ACC, along with Stanford and Cal, looking good here against Big Ten and national powerhouse Nebraska.
One key for SMU coming into this match was to not worry about the name on the jersey on the other side. Sometimes teams will come in playing Nebraska and say, okay, we're already nervous. We have to play our best. We have to play perfect. But SMU's going out there playing loose and free like they have nothing to lose.
You know, it's so easy to say that. Don't focus on the jersey across the net, but to actually accomplish it, I think it speaks to the maturity of this SMU team.
Yeah, and Sam Merger has talked about this is the most mature group that she's ever had. Of course, in terms of maturity, you look at the ages of this group. Again, 7 players that are 5th years on this 14-person roster. So, yeah, they have the age, but to have these players that have played at various programs throughout the country, played some really top teams in their own respective conferences, and now headed into a conference that's going to have a lot more of that, that tells you early on in the season what you need to know about this squad in terms of their maturity and how they're going to handle big matches moving forward.
SMU went to Nebraska last season and got swept. That was last August. And Nebraska returning the favor, coming to SMU. And I absolutely love that about volleyball, Emily, is that the top teams in the country, they play each other and they're not afraid to go on the road to play anyone.
Oh, I mean, it's crazy. Even thinking about opening weekend. Last Tuesday, we started off with 2 top 10 matchups. And this weekend, we got 2 top 5 matchups, 2 top 20 matchups, another top 10 one. It's crazy.
Crazy serving by SMU. Tabron getting an ace. That is her first.
Serving's been the secret sauce for SMU coming into this match. They put decent pressure on their opponents of San Diego and Hawaii last weekend, but this is the toughest we've seen them serve so far this season.
Yeah, 5 aces against Nebraska. Rodriguez, good serve receive. And Beeson terminates from the right side.
And if you're Nebraska on the other side, especially Bergen Riley as a setter, I'm having more conversations with that serve receive and telling them, hey, guys, you don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be right in the pocket. Just get me 10 feet off, even on the 10-foot line. I can still make a good set out of that. We have to throw away this concept of it has to be perfect.
Riley with 17 assists. Beeson serves the error. Beeson has 8 of the kills, 20 total kills for Nebraska. So almost half the kills coming from Merritt Beeson.
When you look at Nebraska's offense, too, I mean, this set, they're not hitting bad. They're hitting over 400 compared to SMU's 214. But again, it's really that serving battle that SMU's winning.
Yeah, 8 service errors for Nebraska. And only one ace to try to offset that. Bolton, the libero, back to serve. Tried to go short, went too short, didn't clear the net. Bolton actually played against Nebraska when she was at Creighton. This is her first season here at SMU.
Yep, go here. Yep, go, you two.
Harper Murray back to serve for the Huskers. Cullen with the set. Chimay dug by Rodriguez. A little miscommunication there, Riley and Murray. It worked out though. Not in the end. Foster with the kill.
Sam Erger loving it on the sidelines from her team. SMU transitioning beautifully. Doesn't matter if it's a hard hit, a roll shot, whatever it is, that back line is putting Celia Cullen in a perfect spot to run a balanced and unpredictable offense.
Yeah, we need to keep a camera on Sam Erger one of these days.
I mean, it looks like she wants to be out there celebrating with her team. It's awesome.
I'm surprised she hasn't jumped in and tried to make a play. She is must-see TV over there. Frazier, service error. Again, just the second coach in SMU volleyball history and has put this team on the map the last couple of years. Last year, making the NCAA tournament. They finished 22nd in the NCAA RPI rankings, which is a reflection of just how good they were the entire season. That's the highest RPI they've ever had in program history. Cullen sends it over herself. Riley setting the left side, and it is crushed by Krause.
Really good transition play for the Huskers. That easy first ball taken care of from Lainey Choboy, putting Riley on the money. Again, that allows a one-on-one block on the outside for Krause to rip.
You know, the one thing that hasn't happened, Emily, in this match, the setters have not really been looking to attack, and both of these setters will attack.
Yeah, and these are two setters that don't get overly offensive, but I don't think they've been on the net enough to do it.
Murray had to send that over. Free ball for SMU. No worries. It goes out.
A few miscommunications on Nebraska's side. That one resulting in the point for SMU. Those are the errors that you cannot have.
SMU has never trailed here in the second set. Can they finish? This 3 out of 5 set match, they hope to take a 2-0 lead into the brief intermission. Purdue serving, but Nebraska still has plenty of time to catch the Mustangs. Murray out of the back row. And that's too tough for the libero Bolton to handle.
A good decision from setter Bergen Riley to get Murray going out of the backcourt. That's one area of Nebraska's aim that we haven't seen too much of yet, is Murray flying through the back.
Bergen Riley back to serve, getting her serve instructions from the bench. Riley coming into this match, leading the team in aces along with Lindsay Krause. Serves it at Bolton. Tabron attacks. Rodriguez pops it up. Nice save by Krause. Tabron. Rodriguez. Rodriguez now will set behind her. It's kept alive. Tough to put it away against this SMU D. Tabron. And that time Cullen did try to attack, and Alex said, not today.
Nebraska showing why they are one of the best defensive teams in the country. They're always in the right spot at the right time, and they are willing to absolutely lay out on some of these plays. It's not just the backcourt, though. That front court working overtime.
One of the best rallies in the match. Crowd is fired up. It is a 4-1 run enjoyed by Nebraska right now. Lexi Rodriguez is talking to the up judge, Chad Klunk. And now Riley getting ready to serve. Again, Nebraska still hasn't led in this set. And another service error will prevent them from getting closer. SMU hitting 20 points as we go to 25, win by 2.
This is a point in the match for both sides that they have to play as clean as possible. SMU in the red zone from point 20 on, and Nebraska trying to play catch up.
6 service errors this set from Nebraska. Foster back to serve. She's had an impactful night serving for the Mustangs. Alec almost fooled SMU with that attack. And in the end, Nebraska wins the point. That's a nice play by Alec.
That was very impressive on Alec's side. We're seeing defense really come more alive through the first half of this second set. We didn't see much defense on either side, especially in the backcourt, but really picking up the intensity.
A mountainous point right now. And another error for Nebraska. They have uncharacteristically served poorly so far in these first 2 sets. And you just keep giving SMU free points.
Yeah, 10 points off the serve they've just handed to SMU so far. This Nebraska team has to play as clean as possible, especially from the end line if they want to come back and not go down 2-0 in this match.
Another point for SMU. Murray not successful on that attack from the left side.
Trying to just do a little bit too much with that one, trying to slice it too hard, forces that ball to go right down in the tape.
22-19, Nebraska taking a timeout as they don't want to go down 2-0 heading into intermission. Serving has been a big story in this match. SMU has served much better than Nebraska. A lot of errors coming from the Nebraska serve. 10 for the match.
10 errors on Nebraska's side to just 1 ace. Normally you want to see somewhere around that 1-to-1 ratio. SMU doing a phenomenal job. That 5-to-7 is something you will definitely take against such a good, normally passing team that is Nebraska. But SMU, they're winning this ball game right now from the end line.
What are other coaches around the country taking from this match right now, Emily?
Well, I think they're seeing that this Nebraska defense and the back line actually has some holes in it. I think SMU is doing a really good job of exploiting some of those, especially serving that zone 1, meaning to right back of the court. It's really difficult to bring your platform around as a passer, not only get in front of it and wrap it around, but also to lead your setter. And I think SMU is exposing right now that could be a weakness for this Nebraska team.
So SMU trying to finish again. That would be a major milestone for the SMU team to be able to go up 2-0 against Nebraska. And if nothing else, they have accomplished their mission of not playing the name on the front of the jersey. They've played incredibly well so far. And Cullen is exactly who they love to have back there to serve in this pressure situation. Right side, Beeson. Dug by Cullen. Tabron blocked. Cullen back to setting. Chimay can't put it away. Murray. Murray again. Tools the block, point Huskers.
Despite the defensive effort on SMU's side, digging in on some of those, Nebraska finds a way to outlast. And kudos to Harper Murray, who just had made an error, resetting and hitting a confident swing.
Lexi Rodriguez back to serve. Nebraska within 2. Tabron finishes.
Maya Tabron putting the team on her back. She did the exact same thing in set 1. As the set was tight rather, she was continuing to take big swing after big swing, identifying that seam so well.
What a momentum builder, getting the crowd even more fired up. They're 2 points away from grabbing this second set. Riley with the set. And Beeson sides out for Nebraska. No surprise.
And as Nebraska needs points, look for them to keep going to their go-to attacker. That's Merritt Beeson. Now as she checks into the backcourt, look for Riley to continue to keep getting her going.
Some happy Huskers, hopeful Huskers, I should say. Nebraska still has not led in this second set. In danger of losing it. Chimay blocked. They go to the opposite pin, another block. One more try, and this time it is successful by Jams Wheeler.
And that coverage ball, Maya Tabron nearly laying out for it in the perfect spot at the perfect time to make a potential set-saving cover.
Set point SMU. Murray with the receive. Riley setting back to Murray. Cullen back behind her. Chimay ends the set. And SMU leads Nebraska 2-0.
Players on this roster are upperclassmen, including 7 fifth-years. This is a team that's been through a lot. Maybe not together, but individually, they've been through it.
So again, this is a 3 out of 5 set match. SMU can win the match if they win this set. If Nebraska is going to take the victory here in Dallas, they're going to have to win 3 straight sets. Lindsay Krause back to serve. Again, there's that first lead since the first set for Nebraska. So they take the opening point here in the third. Cullen to Tabron. Right side, Beeson is blocked.
The right side for Nebraska has been a really big bright spot this whole match. One of the only ones that they've had. SMU hasn't been able to shut it down. This was a really good adjustment from Tabron, taking away the line, because that's where Merritt Beeson's been getting her kills.
So it was a short-lived lead for Nebraska. 1-1 here to start. Tabron again, hits hands. Rodriguez dives in to save it. Harper Murray is blocked.
Back to back for SMU. Nadie Okamore doing such a great job moving laterally side to side, taking one block on one side and then getting her butt over to the other side to make the other one. Check out that explosive play.
Okamore did not start playing volleyball to her freshman season in high school. She was a basketball player, said there's less running in volleyball, so she switched to volleyball.
That's why a lot of us made the switch.
Harper Murray terminates. And Nebraska playing with a sense of urgency now. A must-win set.
And Harper Murray is a player that Nebraska really needs to come alive, both in terms of passing, and then she's got to be more explosive on the outside pin.
Murray 5 kills tonight off 12 swings. A little miscommunication there from SMU. They get up though, everybody's okay. Beeson over the block, and SMU is right there.
Despite the miscommunication on the Mustang side, they found a way to make it work, forcing the ball, keeping the pressure on Nebraska's side. But you see these two players both going for it. Celia Cullen and Jams Wheeler. Just a bit of a miscommunication, but didn't necessarily matter because Okamore is taking full control of the net.
Good heads-up play by Okamore with just that left hand. Tabron back to serve. SMU in front by a point early in the third. Riley sets, and crushing it is Andy Jackson.
Nebraska needs a lot more Andy Jackson. Up until that point, she was hitting .625, 0 errors with 5 kills. They need to find a way to get her more involved. That starts with the pass, though. It has to continue to improve.
Yeah, now 6 kills off 9 swings, no errors, 4 blocks, and an ace. Her first ace of the season. In fact, that's the only ace Nebraska has had. Chasing that and putting it down is Jams Wheeler.
SMU has done such a great job finding balance in this offense. Setter Celia Cullen has done a really phenomenal job spreading it out. The passing's allowed that to happen, but it hasn't just been one person taking over. Everyone's getting a little piece of it.
Bolton back to serve. Bolton served it right at Malk. Oh, nice shot. That is in a perfect spot by Andy Jackson.
Andy Jackson 7 for 10 already, batting 700. When Bergen Riley can get her the ball, it's almost sure for a kill. That's why this pass, again, is so important on Nebraska's side, but they've made necessary adjustments.
Harper Murray back to serve for the Huskers. Again, Murray, one of the best serves in terms of aces that Nebraska's had. That goes out of bounds, point SMU.
Another way that SMU has really been doing well offensively has been using the block of Nebraska that's normally very disciplined, but SMU is finding ways to just chip away at fingertips.
It's been a masterful match so far by SMU, no question about it.
I mean, this is one of the most underrated teams in NCAA. We talked about it in the Open earlier. This is a team that has the talent and experience to not just hang, but compete with the top teams in the country.
It will be fun to see how they do in the ACC this year as Jackson gets another kill.
And already such a competitive conference. When you add SMU into it and Stanford, I mean, this is one of, if not the strongest conference right now in college volleyball with the talent across the board.
Yeah, 3 of the top 5 from the ACC right now. Pitt is 3, Louisville 4, Stanford 5, Nebraska at number 2. Big Ten also has 5 teams in the top 20, just like the ACC. Off the slide, Tabron. Oh, that was a fantastic save by Choboy to keep Nebraska in the point. Riley sets behind her to Alec, and Alec off the slide gets the kill.
Lainey Choboy in the backcourt. I mean, she is so phenomenal. She's a DS for this Nebraska squad, but you put that player on any other team in the country, and she's your starting libero. She's that good.
4. Trying to give Nebraska a run here. They're up by a point in a must-win set for the Huskers. And no one there to stop number 15 in white, Jams Wheeler.
Jams Wheeler definitely heating up as this match has gone on. A little bit quiet through that first set, but from set 2 on, they've gotten her going just a little bit more. She's also bringing a lot more power. You see this ball quick, tempo to the outside, using that high fingertip shot.
Wheeler now up to 5 kills, 7 digs. She's been all over the floor. She rotates out. We're tied at 6. SMU leading Nebraska 2 sets to none. Back row Murray. Nice save by Bolton. Riley, back row Murray again. Hit it right off of Chimay. We play on. And finally, it is put down by Krause.
Really well-placed tip by Lindsay Krause. She identifies that defender a little bit too far back on defense, and that tip right over the block just works so well, right into the middle of the court, into the chaos.
Bergen Riley back to serve for Nebraska. Hits it at Tabron. Now Tabron attacks. Alec kept it alive. Beeson. Tabron can't get it through that block. There's that side set you were talking about. A little off speed. We play on. Good read by Nebraska. Krause. Tabron. And finally, SMU can celebrate the point.
outlasting Nebraska defensively was one key that SMU had to do if they were going to come out victorious in this match, and this was a perfect example. The defensive effort that we're seeing on the Mustang side is some of the best that we've seen from this program in history. They are doing such a great job laying out for these plays and then transitioning that into good offense.
I mean, is this fun or what? This is why people fall in love with volleyball.
I mean, we're only a week into the season, too.
Plenty more opportunities for fans to keep watching. Cullen with the set. Tabron stuffed. Point Nebraska.
Right now it feels like you can just feel the intensity on the court. Every point feels like it's worth 2 or 3. You can tell by the way the players are celebrating and the way that the gym's erupting.
It's unusual to say this, granted, but it feels like a tournament match.
It absolutely does, and it could be another matchup that we see in December.
Cullen pushes it out. Okamore. Alec tried to take it over, carried it. A lift call on Alec.
Yeah, not very clean.
Explain that call, Emily, for people that don't know.
So
what
if you take another
here.
look at it, if the ball's in your hand for too long, this has been a point of emphasis with the refs this season. You can't have the ball in your hand too long to where you're bringing it back before it goes forward.
We've been tied at every point again here in this set, and now the tie broken by Alec. This is very reminiscent of the first set.
Which is an absolute back and forth battle. That's what we saw throughout all the way in set 1, and then SMU took a commanding lead in set 2, never trailed during that set. Really important for both sides to try to get somewhat of a run here. That starts from the service line.
Rodriguez back to serve. It's going to be tight. Yeah, overpass. Harper Murray's eyes got big, and she crushed it.
Nebraska starting to feel themselves, getting a little bit more juice on their side. One more and expect SMU to potentially take a timeout to try to just kill that momentum.
Yeah, a 3-point lead in this match has been a luxury that neither team has had very often. Nebraska up 2 now. And now it's a 3-point lead. A must-win set for the Huskers.
Just an explosive play for Nebraska. Andy Jackson tracking that so well. We saw a lot of that during set 1 on the right side of the court for SMU. Jackson finished it off beautifully.
And as expected, SMU takes a timeout. Huskers are smiling, but they've got to win this set.
There is nothing like a Wendy's Frosty.
Nebraska's down 0-2, but they have so many weapons, Emily.
I mean, it's such a balanced attack. They have all of their 5 starters average somewhere between 2.2 kills or more. That tells you what you need to know about the balance, especially from some of those middles like Andy Jackson and Rebecca Alec get involved in the play.
Okamore off the slide, and SMU sides out right away. I was thinking earlier, Emily, just how you do a scouting report for Nebraska, but Sam Erger has figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's so difficult when you're playing a team that doesn't have a lot of holes, but one thing they're doing really well, again, is bringing that service pressure in and really targeting those passers deep.
And that's one of the keys to volleyball in general, isn't it? If you serve tough, you can win.
I mean, any coach will always tell you serve and pass is the number 1 and number 2 key.
Cullen to Okamore. Good save by Murray. Jackson can't get it to go down. Murray will try. She's blocked by Chimay. One more time. Another block. Oh, Chimay was a wall that Nebraska couldn't get through.
Not just a wall, a brick wall up front. Chimay setting that up incredibly well. Time and time again, getting those hands over. Stayed disciplined throughout this entire rally. I mean, it was just time and time again, stuffs.
SMU back to within 1 after the timeout. Good serve. Cullen. Okamore. Okamore has tremendous reach. Murray thought she had it put away. An incredible dig, though, by Wheeler. And Murray looking for the touch, but the point initially given to SMU. Let's see if Nebraska challenges it. And they are going to challenge. Nebraska will challenge whether there was a touch. The initial call was no touch.
Definitely trying to go for those high fingertips. Let's get a look at this one. I mean, that block, just see how high that is. I mean, Shamay's face is basically over the net.
Yeah, remember, she was a state champion high jumper.
This is a good look at this one. See if there's any movement of the fingertips bending back.
I think Sam Erger would have stayed on with us the entire intermission. She was enjoying talking volleyball.
I mean,
So
that's what she
passionate
does.
about it. Yeah. Service error. If nothing else, that challenge iced the server. And Coach Erger in her third season. That ended a 3-0 SMU run. Nebraska must win this set to stay in the match. Shamay can't get it to go down. Riley setting Murray. Dumped over by Okamore.
I mean, Okamore has just taken complete control of the net up front. Any 50-50 ball, meaning it's right on the top of the tape, she is up there and throwing it down.
We don't have that stat, Emily, but don't you think that's also a difference in this match? SMU's won so many of these 50-50 balls.
Yeah, I mean, they've taken complete control of the net and just been dominant up front.
Riley off the slide to Jackson, and she terminates.
Every single set that we're seeing go Andy Jackson's way, she's finding a way to get a kill off of. It's been so impressive all night. That connection just looks superb.
8 kills, no errors on 12 attacks for Andy Jackson. That is a .667 hitting percentage tonight. Harper Murray back to serve. Sent back by Shamay. Free ball here for Nebraska. Riley back row to Murray. Bolton puts it up. Blocked. Good D by SMU. And finally hitting through the block is Wheeler.
Really good coverage on SMU's side. All 5 players that aren't hitting the ball into cover so they can get that second or maybe even third chance at a swing. And Wheeler did a really great job of finishing that one off.
Jams Wheeler. We're tied at 13. SMU has a chance to sweep Nebraska. And a service error puts Nebraska back out in front.
SMU getting a little bit sloppy from the service line. We saw 5 aces in that second set. One of the reasons they never trailed, but now a little bit too high error.
Any reason why? Why does that happen?
Think they're really testing the end line just a little bit more. They've been driving serves back the entire night, but they got to reel it in just a little bit.
Andy Jackson back to serve. She had an ace earlier tonight for Nebraska. Just missed. It's the only ace Nebraska has had tonight was from Andy Jackson, who she had not had one all season.
Yeah, you talk about matches being won or lost in the serve and pass battle. SMU is passing really, really well. That's one reason why you're only seeing one on the stat line for aces for Nebraska, and also the balanced attack that we're seeing on SMU's side. That starts with the pass.
Purdue, future radiologist, serving. Good serve. And Krause just could not connect. Point SMU.
That play all starting from the service line, putting in a ton of pressure back there to knock Nebraska out of system and force that outside set.
Purdue transferred from Arkansas, but was here last year, second team all-conference when they were in the American. Overpass, cleaned up nicely. I think Tabron got most of that.
Yeah, and that front line, again, just cleaning it up, but that starts from the service line. Another bullet from Purdue on the end line. That's what this player comes in and what she is known for. She comes in to serve, and she does a really good job of it.
16-14 SMU in the third set against second-ranked Nebraska and the national runners-up last year. Nebraska's been the runner-up 2 of the last 3 years.
And watch this movement on the serve.
Just dives. Off the slide, Alec. Krause goes over the block. Tabron, whistle blowing. And the point's going to SMU. I couldn't see what the call was, Emily, could you?
It looked like Nebraska might have been in the net on that play. Definitely some net movement after that play happened.
Love that camera angle, though. Really gives you a feel for what's happening on the court.
We'll see another look at this, just to make sure exactly who was in the net. But you see Nebraska coming down off that block. Yeah, Bergen Riley, that left arm, just a little too aggressive.
Well, while we have a break, Friday's ACC PM with Mark Packer at 4 Eastern will come to you from Clemson as the Tigers prepare to host Appalachian State. That game is right here on ACC Network Saturday night at 8 Eastern. And speaking of Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, the ACC Huddle Crew will get you ready for the day in Clemson with a 60-minute pregame show leading into the Georgia Tech-Syracuse game at noon. Then they'll be back at 6:30 to wrap up the afternoon with highlights and analysis to get you set for that Clemson-App State game at 8 with a post-game to follow. They're going to be busy on Saturday.
Sam, dare I say it, but Nebraska down 3 here, 17-14, closing in on what could potentially be a Mustang sweep.
Well, this is getting a lot of people's attention around the country. I can tell you that, especially that man.
Yeah, that's a coach that's definitely not used to losing, let alone in 3 sets by a team that's not even ranked. Of course, they've been receiving votes in the poll, but this SMU team definitely turning some heads nationwide.
If nothing else, maybe a little bit of a wake-up call for Nebraska. That is the best sign in the house tonight. Sorry, Nebraska fans. You got to admit, that's pretty creative for a kid. Purdue serving. And by the way, the SMU fans were very nice to Nebraska in the pregame introductions. A lot of cheers for the Huskers.
I think a lot of Huskers in the house, too, there.
Krause trying to go over the block. Cullen keeps it alive. And there's the attack by the setter, Cullen.
Nothing you love to see more than a setter getting some offensive action. Big smiles all around. Celia Cullen coming up with this one out of system. Ellie Bolton trusts her setter to make that play. And with 2 big blocks in front of her. Are you kidding me, Cullen?
A 5-0 run right now for SMU. Purdue doing a good job behind the service line. Alec goes line and sides out to get Purdue off that service line.
Nebraska continuing to force that right side of the court. This time it's Rebecca Alec on the slide attack, but expect whoever's up front. This time now Merritt Beeson. Watch her to get set a lot on the right side.
Riley is back to serve for the Huskers. Tight set. Cross court, finished by number 11, Natalie Foster.
What an arm from Natalie Foster, wrapping it around on the slide. And the beautiful set. Celia Cullen is doing a phenomenal job putting her hitters in the perfect situation to not only take a big swing, but get a kill.
Foster came in from Wichita State, which was in SMU's conference at the time. Good serve. Foster with the ace. It is 20-15.
SMU getting it done from the end line. Natalie Foster using that strong arm right there, just picking apart Nebraska serve receive.
Another good serve. Rodriguez returns it. Beeson is blocked.
Nadie Okamore, are you joking? And this is what tough serving does. I mean, Nadie Okamore just making these big reads, but out of system, she knew exactly where that ball was going. And that is a wall up front, shutting down Nebraska's offense. Another look at that one.
Okamore's first season here after coming in from Florida. 9 blocks tonight by Okamore.
And this was an area of Okamore's game against San Diego that she struggled with, only 1 block on the night, but she had 7 against Hawaii, so we've seen what she can do. And again, with her career at Florida, I mean, she led the team in blocks last season. That is so difficult to do in a tough SEC conference. This is a player that has the caliber to potentially be a first or second team All-American, I would say, based on how she's playing tonight.
And Nadie Okamore has been a dominant middle for the Mustangs tonight.
I mean, she's getting it done in all areas of the game. We talk about her defense, but she is owning the net up front. She's doing such a great job tracking down these tight passes, whether it's an overpass or a 50-50 ball. She's going up so strong and confident, and that's what you love to see with her. A 5th-year middle blocker coming in, 6'4" transfer. The expectations are high coming into this program, trying to rebuild them, and she is putting the team on her back.
I think she plays a lot bigger than 6'4", though, don't you, Emily?
Yeah. I mean, she looks like she's jumping out of the gym. She's got to watch her head.
Again, she's already gotten her degree in linguistics at Florida, working on her master's in management here at SMU, and trying to lead her team to the massive upset of Nebraska. Another ace! Are you kidding me?
7 aces already on the night for the Mustangs, and Natalie Foster has been a massive piece of that. 5 from her alone.
SMU has won 9 of the last 10 points. They are 3 points away from shocking the nation. Rodriguez lays out to receive that. Cullen to Tabron. Okamore keeps it alive. This has got to go over. Rodriguez up to Beeson. Beeson calling for the touch. The call was out. And we will have a challenge at a crucial point in this match.
Nebraska challenges touch.
Nebraska challenging that touch play, and this is a point that you have to challenge if you're Nebraska. You're down potentially 8 points in a must-win set. You need points now more than ever.
Ron Stahl taking a look at this absolutely critical challenge. The point was given to SMU off the Beeson attack. That's exactly who I would think Nebraska would want to be taking that swing.
Yeah, when Nebraska is trying to catch up in sets, they look to their leaders. That's Merritt Beeson. Based on this touch call, it looked like it also might have been in the backcourt too, potentially. But look at this front court touch. Usually a good indication if you see a finger bent backward. Tough to tell by that look.
Ball kind of blocks us from that angle. Just another look. Look at Okamore there on the left.
Doesn't look like it touches that right hand.
No touch on the block. No touch.
And the officials agree, so the crowd will find out and go crazy. Point remains with SMU. So SMU, 2 points from the sweep of Nebraska. Foster back to serve again. Nebraska has not been swept since last November against Wisconsin. But you would have to go way back to find them swept by an unranked team. Correction, they did get swept in the championship last year against Texas. Regular season sweep was against Wisconsin. Alec attacks. They're not done yet.
This is the Nebraska team that knows how to fight. They are never going to lay down for an opponent. They are normally always cool, calm, and collected. Look for this team to try to settle in, and they're going to need a big serve right here and some service pressure.
Taylor Landfair will come out, and they will bring in the serving specialist, Olivia Malk, the freshman from Bennington, Nebraska, enrolled early last year, actually played on their beach team last spring to get ready for this season. Cullen. And Tabron gives SMU match point.
Maya Tabron been hot all night, and when it matters most, they can rely on her for this big swing.
And one of the most impactful servers tonight is back for the Mustangs at match point. Celia Cullen. Alec keeps Nebraska alive.
Rebecca Alec asking setter Bergen Riley to feed her the ball, and now with her checking out, expect Bergen Riley to get Andy Jackson going.
It remains match point for SMU. Chimay, one more saved. Merritt Beeson coming up in the clutch.
This is when Nebraska's defense has to continue to turn on. That serves, got to force them out of bounds, and then that block, you got to settle in.
A third match point for SMU. Cullen with the set. Chimay, it's over. SMU with a program-defining win.